Adventures haven't always ended in the way I had expected. Maybe you will end up being detained by the Port Authority police on suspicion of being a runaway. Maybe. It's happened to me. But if nothing else, if something like that happens, you will have a good college essay to write. Because after all, isn't that all we're interested in here, really? I found that in creating adventures, it is important to have a piece of knowledge that only you possess. It is important that you're an expert in at least one thing. It is allowed to surprise others. It sometimes even surprises yourself. Over time, I find that I've been surprised by what I've learned and found out. Maybe even more surprised than anybody else. And this is because I go into each day, every situation, thinking that it could be a possible adventure. And because of that, I'm always ready to learn. I'm a constant stenographer of my surroundings. What I learn isn't always practical or useful. In fact, sometimes it doesn't even impress people. But that is not the point of it. It helps me. It gives me a measure of control. I happen to know that the pretty yellow blossoms that are the first flowers to come out of the spring and line the 86th Street transverse in Central Park are forsythias. I happen to know that 10 out of 11 species of forsythia come from Asia, while the 11th is from Albania. I don't know what that one species was doing in Albania, or how it felt about it, but I do know that somehow they ended up crossing my path in New York City, a place which, so far as I can tell, is a long way from both Asia and Albania. Let's pause with the forsythia for a moment. Unless you just so happen to be a botanist, I don't think anyone here is. This particular knowledge of forsythia in and of itself is insignificant. Except for the part about the flowers being pretty, it has no intrinsic value. Absolutely none. But I can contextualize it. I have control over it. I have become a master of a small wealth of knowledge, a world in and of itself, a veritable smorgasbord of flowers. Everyone in this room has something that they control, some area of expertise where they excel and others don't. That doesn't matter at all. Why not cultivate it like an early spring blossom from Albania? As you develop your nano area of expertise, you begin to develop a mastery of words. And with that comes a mastery of situations, and you begin to embrace the absurdity of your own existence. What does it matter that the thing used to measure feet for shoes has a name, and is called a Brannick device? It doesn't. Except that it allows you for a moment to throw people off their center of balance and to question you. As I mentioned with the firehouse, it is in this type of interaction that real adventures begin. For when you interact with them, they're playful and open to adventure. You and I are able to embrace and take control of the split second. You actually have a chance to know what is coming before anyone else does. There are no spoiler alerts, no worn-out plots, only the future. And even though you have control of the present moment, the surprise of what to come is still enjoyable for all. Even though you have control, you are able to elicit an uncontrolled, free reaction from your partners in adventure. This is the ultimate manifestation of playfulness and humor, making people laugh without any regard for their surroundings. If I could make people sneeze just by pointing at them, I would, just for the uncontrolled reaction. But I can't. So I can try to make people laugh, make milk come out of someone's nose. Because if you're willing to have an adventure, you might get dirty, you might get snot-covered milk all over you. But it won't matter, because you will be too busy laughing and discovering the next open moment in time. In 4 years in Trinity, it has been in this childlike state of playfulness, that I have paradoxically trusted to both ground myself and become serious. Yes, it has been in my most lighthearted of moments that I have been able to focus and approach the somber, when I have been able to best reflect inwardly and learn, and when I have been able, most importantly, to have fun. Just as I told you when this speech was beginning, I will tell you when it is coming to a close. Maybe it will help you, as per tradition, when you talk about it in your first period classes. You may even talk about it in your second and third period classes, but I won't push my luck. It's been good, but not that good. Perhaps you will talk about the message of this speech, so I want to come clean to you. The speech wasn't about adventure. I lied. That was wrong of me to do. I will be the first one to admit it. Thought you guys might like something like that. No. It was not about adventure, as I said. Rather, it was a meta speech, a speech that was not about anything at all. Rather, the speech in and of itself was an adventure. If you are cynical, you may say that its purpose was only to quench my extreme narcissism. If you are an idealist, as I tend to be, you will say that it is about life and living it. Almost, as T.S. Eliot said, and we heard in the reading today, almost ridiculous, almost at times, the fool. I will now join with some of my friends and play a song. Hopefully it will help me extend the themes of my day. After all, I've never sung with you. It should be exciting.